we are going to go over how to teach place value in a Waldorf-inspired way, homeschool style. So I am not a Waldorf purist, but I absolutely love teaching my children with story and creative play and the artistic, beautiful aspects of a Waldorf education. But if you haven't grown up with Waldorf, it can be a lot, especially teaching something like place value. Here's the things we used to make this lesson, and then I'll go over some inspirational ideas that can maybe save you time, because it took me a lot of time to try to figure out how to do this. So we have these little wooden puppet sticks that we bought. We have some bigger puppets that you could cut out and make yourself or buy. This is stuff from the recycling. Hot glue gun. Some colored construction paper, red, yellow, green, blue. And then any sort of accountable manipulative. I got these little rhinestones from the dollar store. You're gonna need at least 100 little counting things. It could be beans, it could be nuts, and then some sort of a little bag that you can separate the things in. I just, again, got these from the dollar store. I know I could reuse these little plastic baggies. And you're gonna need at least 20 of them. These came in like a 50 pack. And then lastly, some sort of a little tray. So that's it. I found this particular story on a Waldorf teacher's, I can't even pick it up, a Waldorf teacher's site, but I made a lot of changes. So I'm just gonna share kind of the essence, but those are all the things we did to learn place value, or had to learn place value. Starting with these puppets, we've been using them for 2 years. And you can do any sort of a variation like this, but if you're doing math in a Waldorf kind of inspired way, there's little characters. Empress equal, Mrs. Divide, Mr. Plus, Mrs. Minus, who has a hole in her pocket. My boys made their own little characters. Like I said, already kind of kindergarten level, and got really into it. Like, what is the character of Mr. Plus? And there's all kinds of stories we tell about Mr. Plus. He is the star of the show today with place value. So they already have a bit of an emotional connection to this character. Empress equal, she balances everything in the world of math. And then king counting, and my children kind of said he's everything, so king counting. So when I told them we're gonna learn a new concept, these would be the characters. We need a castle. I showed them our recycling pile, gave them a hot glue gun, and they spent like an hour making their own castle for this new lesson. So I would highly recommend that. Maybe not the hot glue, but already helping them get into this story, because in a Waldorf idea, if a child can get into a story, they're emotionally invested in the thing, they're excited, they're already in this world of creative fun and play. You could make these yourself. We did just get them from the store and color them ourselves, but my children are actually gonna hop into the land of math with the characters. So again, this was just like 10-15 minutes, but it's already all this amping up fun. Now we do have one more character we shall introduce who frequents our math classroom. We do math everywhere, there is no classroom. This is Nutty. Nutty the squirrel is a little stinker who, if we're doing adding or subtracting, messes things up. And then my kids have to come in and fix it. So Nutty's like this funny, laughable character. He shows up in the story too. He's a favorite. This is an idea of a story. Like I said, I got it off a teaching site, but made my own changes. The essence is 2 little boys and girls, whatever your child is, walking through the woods. You can use their names or they can name them. Boom! They end up in the land of math. They see this incredible castle. And in comes Empress equal. I can't get it together. Everything's a mess. Everything is disorganized. Oh dear, let me see who we can get to come and help. Well, this looks like a job for me. It's adding. I'm great at organizing and adding things together. Right, get as creative as you want. My kids absolutely loved role playing back and forth with me, but essentially what's gonna happen is these guys are in a state of crisis and these guys are gonna help problem solve. So this is where the rhinestones or the countables come in, whatever you've chosen. And we made it really easy where we had this giant pile. I just dumped it on the floor and said, okay, we can only fit in this little shed 9 pieces, 1 digit. So 1 little block is 1 little diamond. And we added something onto our castle. They made a tree for Nutty, isn't that cute? But we started by just adding on a red single digit door. Boop, and pretended that the 0 to 9 pieces or 1 to 9 pieces would go in there. And then of course you have the problem of, oh, there's so many more pieces. What do we do with the rest of them? So Mr. Plus recommends, or Nutty, whoever you want, separating the pieces into 10s. So this took the boys maybe 5-10 minutes. They separated all these little baggies into 10s. And then all the numbers that were 10 to 99 could fit in there. Then the problem, there's still pieces left over. That's why you need like 200 countables or something like that. We found a little tray. So we would take 10 of these baggies, put them in here, and that would represent 100. Now I did also have these little math manipulatives that we've used before to show the same thing, right? 1, 10, 100. And so then we played with some little flashcards. Oh, this isn't gonna fit in here nicely. Some little flashcards and changed the pieces around. So there's 1 digit, there's 2 digits, there's 3 digits, and you can go with the level of your kid. If just introducing 2 digits is enough, leave it at that. It might also be helpful. My one visual learner really liked having one of those big charts of like numbers 1 to 100. And so I'd point to number 5 and say, oh, which one of these barns could it fit in? Okay, number 54, could it fit there? Or are we gonna need to, have some 10 piles over here? My one son is in grade 2, so we were ready to introduce the thousands. Actually, both my kids got it with this story where they were struggling before. But we started playing with making our little diamond packs in there, practicing saying different numbers, building up multiple manipulatives, just to really feel and see what these numbers look like in different ways. And yeah, we've kept coming back to this story over the last 3 days and, adding different little elements. My kids got so into it, they put these little army guys all over the place to protect the fortress. And I did just want to show you what our end result ended up being in our book. So both of the boys have become proficient at saying these numbers. Okay, this is my guy who's in grade 2. And so then we kind of wrote down the 1s go from 1 to 9, the 10s or 2 digits go from 10 to 99, 100, 3 digits go from, you can kind of see it. And then they drew their own castle with their own doors. King counting. We need a spell checker, but that's okay. We're not worried about that for grade 2. So we are gonna next work with writing these things down, but it was a really fun way. Puppets, interactive, and we could keep coming back to it. So there you have it. Hopefully that's helpful for you. There's so many variations of this kind of a lesson you can do. I wish someone told me a few weeks ago when I was trying to figure it out. Anyway, best of luck on your homeschool journey.